Ken Martin, the guy who's responsible for the DNC being deeply in debt and being powerless and having no money and sucking, is currently avoiding media appearances and refusing to make any changes to the organization. A half-dozen state leaders and other committee members, most of whom spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss internal convos, described Martin as defensive and extremely distrustful of others. Remember, this is a guy who in a staff meeting said, if I go down, you're all going down with me. This guy believes in nothing except for his own personal patronage. This fucking bitch baby, spineless crybaby. Incredibly selfish. You know, the Democratic Party has way too many people in it who are just like utterly uninterested in anything other than career politics. Just like I do not care about any outcome outside of like making sure I have a comfy job for the rest of my life. No sign the org's membership plans to replace Martin before the midterm elections in November. That might be a bit hasty, admittedly. You don't want to do the shakeup like that right before the midterms. But he has to go. If he's still around in 2028, he'll actually, I genuinely think he's, who's the last one? Jamie Harrison? I genuinely think he'd be worse than Jamie Harrison. At least, as bad as Jamie Harrison was, at least Jamie Harrison was able to support like a gun up for like a somewhat half-decent shot at Kamala Harris's campaign, genocide apologia besides. But like Ken Martin has done nothing but fail over and over and over again. And Jamie Harrison is an unbelievably low bar, like a insanely fucking low bar. Jamie Harrison was good at raising money. That's it. Yeah. And like a freak Zionist centrist piece of shit. Like Jamie Harrison is really, really, really bad, but at least he was better at raising money. Martin did not grant an interview request. In a recent Substack post, Martin defended himself this way. Substack posting from the fucking chair of the DNC. Martin's critics are everywhere all at once. I saw that movie. No, I didn't. I should, though. And some won him out. As one of its most important responsibilities, the DNC is tasked with building out the party's national infrastructure, including fundraising to support the Democrats' next presidential nominee. Yet few members of the next class of White House prospects are willing to speak out on Martin's behalf. You should. It's a great movie. Yeah, I know. Just really, really, really nasty stuff here. He has to go.
Saying there have been a bunch of bad ones in both parties as the national parties have lost relevance. But Ken Martin really does stand out. I can't say that I think from the day that he won the job until today, he's had a good news cycle. There's just been a series of snafus that sort of just spell not up to the job, Jen. I would say whether it's the autopsy, obviously one thing, badly managed, terribly executed, disappointing.
So DSA is going to pull off the Dem Tea Party moment. Well, the DSA is obviously where the momentum is. The centrist establishment within the Democratic Party, certainly the DNC itself, has no momentum and is basically just trying to hold on to legacy voters. They are not making any inroads with new voters, none whatsoever. If there are any new voters that are shifting over, it is not because of the DNC. If it's either the DSA or because they're that upset with Trump. Like, the DNC is not doing any work here. It's one of the reasons why I said, like, if you're upset with the influence the DSA and Hassan Piker are having over the Democratic Party, like, make the case to the voters. They want to get mad at the DSA. They want to get mad at Hassan. Like, the only reason it's an electoral organization. It's a party. Everyone's power is proportional to their ability to influence the voters, to make a good case to the voters. And like the DNC is doing a fucking spectacularly bad job with it. You want better champions. But unfortunately, these people want the style without the substance, you know? After Mamdani won, every centrist was like, could we perhaps have a centrist Mamdani? No, you can't actually fake that. I'm sorry. Like, why is it all of our moderate, hyper-corporate Zionist candidates keep ending up being uninspiring? What could be it must be a coincidence that every single one of them ends up disappointing voters. It can't be the things they believe in. Maybe we need a new slogan. Stick it to them. We need more zingers. We need more guys who are standing on business while Trump's up to some monkey business, you know?
All factions in that, no matter where you are in the argument about why Democrats lost in 2024. I think there is a question of whether Democrats, and I think the answer to this is going to be, if Democrats win that control of the House and Senate, Ken Martin, despite all of this, will probably be safe in that job. If Democrats somehow fail to lose, certainly if they don't take at least one of the houses, but if they lost both those houses, Ken Martin will be out very quickly. Maybe if they, depending on how they,
buddy, if the Democrats lose the House and the Senate in the midterms, Ken Martin won't be seen again. They're not going to oust Ken Martin. Ken Martin is going to be thrown into the bottomless pit that was dug in the backyard of the DNC headquarters back in like fucking. They're gonna. He's never gonna be seen again.
They perform in the House, might be able to cling. But what do you think about the future of him? It doesn't really matter who the chairman of the Democratic Party is at this stage, because so many of these fundamentals about the economy, about Donald Trump, et cetera, are so much more important to determining how these elections are going to go.
Yeah, and that the individual candidates matter more, and the fact that, you know, it's just, we know before, like John Ossoff is raising as much money as he is, and all these Senate candidates and House candidates are raising a lot of money. And the thing that, I mean, there is a defense to be made. The reason why they are in debt, I guess, I mean, from the Times, is because they're spending a lot of money on infrastructure and state parties. And that was the theory of Ken Martin's chairmanship, and he is, you know, if you want to have like a defense of him, and that's what he's implementing. There are some people that think that that is working. But in terms of him, I think what people might not understand about how this committee operates is it's a committee of 500.
Doesn't the DCCC and DSCCC fund congressional campaigns? I thought the DNC was only for the presidential. No, they direct money where they're needed, but though it's more of like a direct focus thing. But the DNC needs a lot of money so that they can coordinate efforts and fundraise for like broader Democratic Party initiatives. The fact that the party itself is out of money is really, really bad. Like the RNC has like, I think 130 million in cash right now. The DNC is still paying off debt from the Kamala Harris campaign.
135 people made up of DNC members. Those people elected Ken Martin, and those people are Ken Martin's boss. And unless, you know, Leader Jeffries and Leader Schumer want to come in and like try to force him out and rally the members to do that, that's not going to change. And once you stop raising money, that just collapses on top of itself.
You know, Adrian, I mean, the Republicans have raised more money than ever before. They've got all the advantages financially. I mean, they are awash in cash because of Donald Trump, the money at the RNC, the way the court now says the RNC can use the money. So that's number one. So this does matter. It matters greatly if you're like us and believe that the strength of American democracy depends in large part on how this election goes, and whether what Donald Trump has done over the past 2 years is confirmed by voters.
I'm kind of okay with this in some ways. Oh no, billionaires aren't dominating the party through your donations. Unfortunately, you're the opposite of correct here. The money raised by the parties directly overwhelmingly comes from small ticket donations, because there are limits to how much you can contribute directly to a candidate or to a party. The real billionaire money comes in through super PACs, which are still getting money. So what this means essentially is that the DNC is getting absolutely no like mid-range support, you know? Like the people aren't doing anything to back the DNC. The DNC really, actually, wait, I think there's a higher campaign contribution limit to the DNC directly, but the billionaires still tend to leverage their money through super PACs so they can control the conditions by which that money's dispersed. Anyway, yeah, just really, the donors are more fragmented than I thought. Well, it's that why would anyone give their money to the DNC right now? It's just a waste. Like, you're just wasting money. Why would you, like, it's not even like a long shot thing or whatever. It's just like, give money to the DNC if you want them to give it to some consultants or like TV ad people or whatever. 44K is the max per year of the DNC. Yeah, there you go. 44K. So it's mostly like, it's like a lot of people have to donate to keep finances afloat for the DNC and for the RNC or whatever. It's not like a super PAC. Important to note, Dem candidates are raising record-breaking amounts. Yes, they are raising huge amounts, but that's kind of the problem, right? It's like the superstructure thing, you know? Individual candidates can be popular, but the unpopularity of the Democratic Party is really hurting us. It's really, really, really hurting us. The fact that the Democratic Party is like minus 30 or something nationally is really, really bad. It depresses support for every candidate. It means that in order for these candidates, for candidates like John Ossoff or whatever, to do really well, they have to, each one of them individually has to run a really good campaign. Like, what's supposed to happen is that you have good candidates being backed by a strong party. So you have the double benefit of a strong popular candidate, but also people are just generally turning out to vote blue for whoever shows up on their ballot. But right now, that's not happening. It's individual. Like if you want to win, you as an individual Democrat have to run a great campaign or rely on the depressed votes or the depressed turnout from Republicans. But there's no strong Democratic Party mobilizing people to just go out and vote blue down ticket.
Rejected by voters. That's number one. Number two, the Democrats are in debt. They are in debt coming into August of an election year. I would say the most important midterm election in our lifetime. They are in debt. And number three...
The RNC has a lot of funding, but they're not popular. The RNC is more favored than the Democratic Party because the RNC is at least popular with Republicans. The Democratic Party is not popular with Democrats. Democrats have completely lost faith in their party for good reasons.
Is that possible?
What a Democratic thing to do, to say, well, if we lose, if we hand full ultimate power, autocratic power over to Donald Trump, and over the next 2 years, instead of taking control of the House of the Senate, which we should do if you look at every single poll that's out there, well then...
Is it popular for them to go bankrupt? The DNC? Yeah, they literally just leverage. They just took out a $15 million loan on their headquarters to avoid bankruptcy.
We'll change this bureaucrat that nobody's heard of or nobody knows. Republicans, let me tell you, Ken Martin right now would be flipping patties on the back grill at the Capitol Hill Club. There's no way Republicans would keep a guy like this who had his party in debt still running that party. It's not a close call.
In fairness, if the Democrats actually did expel failures and losers from the party, your ass would have been out decades ago. You fucking Republican turncoat who wishes for a return to the neocon Republican Party. So don't throw stones too hard from the comfort of your glass house, Joe Scarsborough. We all know where you'd be if the Democratic Party actually listened to the wishes of their constituency. Fucking disgusting. I guess while we're on the topic of the utter failure from the National Democratic Party to meet the moment, though in this case it would be the DSCC, Chuck Schumer's been engaged in a prolonged effort to stop Abdul al-Sayed from winning the Democratic nomination in Michigan. We know there's exactly one outcome Chuck Schumer cares about, and it's the bloodshed of Palestinian people. It's too late. Abdul al-Sayed is going to win. Haley Stevens was an unfathomably bad candidate. Her favorability ratings among Democrats are incredibly it's incredibly bad. Abdul al-Sayed is going to win. If he loses, I am blaming centrist Democrats for tanking him. And you know why I'm doing that? Because if this was flipped and the progressive candidate was erroneously accusing the centrist candidate of being a fucking sexist and anti-Semite with no evidence, like if Bernie Sanders was out there on the debate stage just straight up telling Hillary Clinton, I know you want to blame all your problems on Jewish Americans or some insane shit like that, I would absolutely 100% hear non-stop centrists blaming Bernie for Hillary losing in 2016. There is a limit to how nasty you should be able to be in a primary, because otherwise you just depress turnout for the general, which is exactly what's happening here. There is a real chance Abdul al-Sayed loses, and if it does, I know who I'm blaming. Or if he does, I know who I'm blaming. People blame Bernie for Hillary's loss anyway. Erroneously, yes, because he conceded and campaigned for her. But if he had done all that stuff, I think he would have actually legitimately enjoyed some of that blame. There is a limit to how nasty you can be in primaries. There is a reason for that. Carville crashing out on Fox. Yeah, I saw this. Again, if the Democratic Party rewarded success and punished failure, we wouldn't have to hear from these people ever again. I'm not going to be in the same party with Hassan Piker. If he becomes a force in the Democratic Party, I'm out of here. Don't let the door disintegrate your ancient ass on the way out. Worthless.